We live? All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Pulse. I'm your moderator tonight, Damon G from Jersey Shore Podcast, and this is brought to you by the Great America's Pulse Network. So there is a lot of breaking news out there. So you'll probably see a lot of it going across the bottom with ticker tape. I know that we're about to end the government shutdown, and that's going to be a good thing. So, yeah, you guys can see that down there. So I'm just going to go into a quick monologue, and I want to introduce all the great guests that we have on tonight, as always. So, but I just want to, do you ever notice how the modern left treats the government, the way our grandparents treated God? I mean, they worship it. They pray to it. They trust it to solve every problem, except it can't even balance a checkbook. The liberals' new religion doesn't have pews. It has bureaucrats. The church is Washington, D.C., and the high priest wear $1,000 suits paid for by your tax dollars. Instead of the 10 commandments, they've got 10,000 regulations telling you how to live, what to drive, what to eat, and what pronouns to use. Now, this is the lefty liberals. So, and here's the kicker. Everything gets more expensive the moment the government gets involved. This shutdown, they wanted to expand healthcare for Obamacare and give it to illegals too. But it's like they have the opposite of, I would say, the Midas touch. I've never seen those commercials. But the free market creates competition. It drives prices down and rewards hard work. Government creates red tape, raises costs, and kills innovation faster than Biden can lose his train of thought. I mean, look at Obamacare, the perfect example of what happens when they promised affordable health care for everyone. And what do we get? Sky-high premiums, overtaxed doctors, and a system that bleeds money like an open wound. Because when there's no competition, there's no accountability. And when you give bureaucrats a blank check, they'll always find a way to cash it and then ask you for more. The Democrat Party has become the socialist party, plain and simple. That's what they are. You have Bernie Sanders out there, and that's all he pushes. He pushes Mondani, just got elected, and I don't even know if the Democrats are savable at this point. But they think the answer to everything is more government, more control, more spending, more equity. But at the end of the day, you can't have freedom when you worship the people who regulate it. Coming up on today's show, we're going to dive deep into the madness. Got Senator John Fetterman. Yes, the hoodie himself finally calls out his own party, which is a very big surprise to me. Who, by the way, a lot of people want him to come to the Republican side. I want him to stay a Democrat. So hopefully he can bring some common sense to the other side at least. So we'll talk about the riots at Berkeley. Antifa once again proved that hate free speech as much as they love setting dumpsters on fire, and we'll break down who really won and who lost in this so-called government shutdown. So that's about to wrap it up. So buckle up, because this isn't the NPR or the BBC, which we'll get to as well. This is the Pulse, where we bring the truth, the heat, and the common sense, and the left abandoned a long time ago. So let's go into our first segment and start introducing our guests. So first, I want to introduce Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner. Seth, thanks for coming up to Jersey, by the way. Seth drove up here for election night. You there, Seth?
It was fun.
There you go.
Good time, man.
You're a little blurry on my screen. I don't know what's up, but that's fine. It's good.
I've been
Makes
drinking.
it look prettier. Oh, there you go. You're good. So, all right, and then then Elena Barbera, bring her on from the Base Mother. Thank you, Elena, as always, for coming on.
Happy to be here.
And then we have Joe Saraday, from the Young Republicans, Burns County Young Republicans, future of this country. Him and his club and his crew. And we have Constance Stitzel, who was a candidate for Assembly in LD5 in New Jersey. Thank you guys all for coming on.
Always fun.
Thank you, Damon. It's a pleasure.
All right, so we'll go on our first segment. The first segment is called the Church of the Big Government, and that's what it's about. I mean, I look at the liberals and the things that they're doing. They don't believe in God anymore, and then they believe in government, and that's what it is. So let's just play the first clip. here, and because it's going to be Newsom and Trump going back and forth in the first two clips, and then you'll see where I'm going with it.
You sell Trump knee pads, Signature Series.
Yeah, sold out at the moment.
Sold out.
Yeah, well, because people have sold out, and because universities have been selling out, because law firms have been selling out, because corporate leaders have been selling out. People are selling out this country. I mean, we're seeing foreign leaders. I mean, what an embarrassment. The Patriot site's up there for a reason, along the lines of why so much is online, for a reason, to expose.
Yeah, so there you go. So he's selling Trump knee pads because he's saying that people are kneeling like he's a king. So, and DW, if you could maybe when we play a clip, just mute Constance's, mute her for the clip because we're getting reverb on her side. We found that out earlier. So I'm going to go to you, Elena. Like, what do you think about Newsom and the knee pads and kneeling down like he's bowing down to the king? Because they call MAGA a cult, but we're going to get to more videos in a second to show who the real cult is. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I don't even get the joke. Like, I just don't get why a liberal would purchase a Trump knee pad from Gavin Newsom and think that it's funny. Like, I would get it if they were like, "Oh, I bought Trump toilet paper, ha ha ha." That I would make sense. They're not good at jokes the way I see it. Like this isn't funny, and I'd give them credit if it was. They have done some funny things, like the JD Vance meme that he ended up dressing up as for Halloween. 2 thumbs up. That you did good on that, and we had a lot of laughs together on that one. But I just think that Gavin Newsom is just, he's just going to keep repeating lies, and there are people who will never double check the facts that or the information that comes out of his mouth. And I think it's ironic because of what you're talking about, how they worship their politicians. They don't worship God. They worship big government. They want the government to be their daddy. Yet, they say, like with everything else, they gaslight us and say that we're worshiping Trump. And of course we're not. I have one king, and that's Jesus. And not all conservatives agree with me on that, but many do. And even the ones that aren't worshiping Trump. We just like him as our president. And so it's just more gaslighting, whatever. I mean, Gavin Newsom, he gives me the creeps, total heebie-jeebies every time he speaks.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to stick with the ladies first. So I'm going to go with you, Constance, on this one, because Gavin Newsom, I know a lot of people say he looks good with his hair gel and all this stuff, but he is definitely a creep. I mean, the guy lies about everything. What do you think would happen if he actually became president?
Oh my goodness, that's frightening. I want to comment on what Elena said. That the people who started the kneeling down was Nancy Pelosi, his aunt, right?
No, you're right about that. Good point.
They were all kneeling down, apologizing to the BLM. Remember that?
Yes,
so
I remember.
He started the whole kneeling down thing. So I'm going to get the joke because it's already been played. and they already did it. They actually already did it. So it's like, where was he when that was going on? I guess Nancy told him to hush up. But this is already done. Now, if he became president, I don't even want to think about such horror. That's hard for my mind to go there. I'm still reeling from my favorite city, New York, putting a socialist communist in charge of New York City. I think we have to see how that plays out. I think that'll have something to do with future communists.
Yeah, you're right. Well, your favorite city in New York, you can keep it. I'm from Philadelphia. We always hated New York. We hate the Giants and all that. My wife is a Jets fan. So I'm going to play the next clip, Seth, before I go to you. Let's play the next one.
I knew Gavin for 4 years. I got along great with him, but he's gone radical left. And, he's building a train system from San Francisco to L.A. that's got about a 2,000 or 3,000% cost over. The forests are burning down all over the place. And honestly, I always liked him, but he's a horrible governor. If he ran the country like that, we would have an absolutely gonzo country. This country would be the country like an absolutely gonzo country. This country would be gone.
All right, so we still have we have some echoing here. So if I don't know if our producer could just maybe mute all of us the next time we play a clip. That way we don't get the reverb back. But Seth, to you with that, I mean, if Gavin Newsom was to become president, and you see what Trump just said there, well, what do you think would happen to this country? How bad could it possibly get?
Just look at California. That's how bad it'll get. He runs California. He'll make America California. That's all he knows. It's pretty simple. The man's a schmuck. I mean, any man who talks about buying knee pads has a mental issue. And I know why he needs knee pads, and he shouldn't be advertising that publicly. He should keep that to himself, because what he does in his bedroom is his business. He shouldn't be making a public business.
That's not California way.
But that's what he do. But America would turn to California. I mean, trust me, I'm in Maryland. We're like California's little sister. Whatever California does, eventually we do. It would just be all over the country. I don't know if it would stick, but he would damn sure try. I mean, he's a one-trick pony. He's not a very intelligent man. He dresses like a used car salesman. He acts like he presents himself like one of those Southern preachers that handles snakes and just wants to be everything to everybody. He can't even be genuine to himself. So yeah, he's definitely just a used car salesman. And no offense to anybody out there that sells used cars. I'm not knocking you. It's a hustle. Do what you got to do. But that's what he reminds me of. A guy that sells used cars in a lot in someone's backyard and tells you that they all can fly when you know they can't.
Yeah, do you ever notice his hand movements too when he's talking? It's like this all the time. And yeah. And
he's not even Italian.
They started making fun of him all the time, and now you see him will sit there, he'll just clutch his fists because he doesn't want to move his hands because they were making so much fun of him. But,
who else did that? Bob Dole did that too, didn't he? Didn't he hold a pin to keep from flailing his hands around?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't mind like good Italian hand talking. This is not good. Don't like.
That's what I mean. If you were Italian,
we don't go like this,
like this
with our hands. He's weird. He's like he is literally one of those lizard people who's in the skin and is uncomfortable. That's what's going on there. He's not one of mine.
You just said lizard people, so
These
my
people
buddy
are skulls of human beings.
So my buddy Nate is watching right now. Nate, she just said lizard people. You're gonna love that because he talks about them all the time. So Joe, I'm gonna go to you next after this clip. Let's play this next clip.
Stephanie Miller's a podcaster, and apparently when they met, she bent the knee to kiss her shoe. A lot of people saying, what's going on right there? And she explained it this way. Go ahead. From IG, here we go. Instagram. Roll it.
Representative, can you confirm that I just kissed your sneakers?
Okay, we're on mute. So there you go. So they call MAGA a cult. Okay. And then you look at a white liberal, the podcaster, that gets down and kisses the feet of Jasmine Crockett. I mean, okay. Who's the cult here?
Disgusting. Well, I cannot recall a time when any Trump kissed Donald Trump's feet or conservative feet, even like that at all. Fact of the matter is, people, as we were kind of alluding to, they're shells of human beings. The politicians, their leadership, by special interest groups and corporations and big lobbying groups, they're the ones with the knee pads. And unfortunately, whether they know it or not, are the knee pad wearers themselves. There was actually a statistic I seen a little while ago. I forget who did it or what the source was. But there's actually more diversity right left objectives. I even have libertarians. We have paleo conservatives. We have people who like okay, you know, that's fine. Everybody's the Burlington Republic, but they're diverse than more different backgrounds. So to call us knee pad wearers, or, for Gavin Newsom to allude that he's going to make knee pads for Trump supporters is, look, he better look in the mirror. That's all I could say. They better look in the mirror, think twice. So, disgusting.
All right, Joe. Well, listen, I just want to let you know you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Your connection's messed up, so I don't know if you want to jump off and jump back on. Just try it again. We heard mostly everything you said, but you're freezing up and breaking up. We're having a lot of technical difficulties. Apparently, everyone's using the internet a lot tonight. So, but yeah, if you want to jump off and jump back on, then we'll see how it goes. But thank you for that answer. We heard every bit of it. So, all right. So for now,
awesome. I'll see what I can do here.
So. All right, so we'll just we got Constance can only stay on until 8:30. She has a prior engagement. So what we'll do right now is we'll go to our first break, and then we'll come back to the next segment.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment, Who is Running the Democrat Party? And I just want to remind everybody to like and subscribe on America's Pulse Network. And thank you, Smiley, for whoever Smiley is. It looks like he's a friend of yours, Joe, for commenting. And you can comment in the chat box, and we'll be able to see it. We'll be able to talk about it as well, any questions that you may have. So this is with Biden. No one knew who was running, the presidency. We know it wasn't him. And we're still looking to see who the heck was running it. But who's running the party right now? And even somebody like Fetterman, Senator Fetterman, that guy was a shock to me. When he was elected, he had a stroke, unfortunately, but he couldn't even get any words out. I'm like, how the hell are they going to elect this guy? And he seemed to be like on the far left, but I heard about his book and read some excerpts from it. They talked about it, and the guy seemed like he woke up a little bit. Now, I said before, because a lot of people want him to come to the Republican Party because it looks like he's leaning that way. I don't want him to come to the Republican Party. I want him to say Democrat. Maybe we can have somebody that makes some sense over there, at least somebody that you can work with that's not a complete crazy man or a crazy woman. So let's play the first clip because he doesn't even know who's running the Democrat Party.
Who is running the show now in the Democratic Party, in the Senate, in the House?
No one really knows, and I think my values are reflected in my vote and the things that I support here, and if that might put me at odds with parts of my party, I'm okay with that. I mean, we need to be a big party, a big tent party. So for me, it's like these are pretty reasonable. I mean, my party's always been opposing shutting our government down. I'm not sure why it's controversial now to devote these things. And I refuse to put all these people in the middle of this political kinds of brinkmanship.
It's kind of a shocker to me because I thought he was a bumbling idiot, and I know he had the stroke and everything else, and I didn't want. I was scared when he got elected, but he made somewhat of a comeback and health wise and everything like that. But he's a little bit of a shocker to me. He's going up against his own party, and that's Democrats. rarely do that. What do you think about Fetterman? What are your thoughts about him?
Is it me?
Constance here, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Constance. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear if you named somebody or not.
Yeah, I'm following Seth, but okay, but never mind. So.
Fetterman's honest. One thing I think he is, I have critiques for him, but he seems abundantly honest just because he doesn't have filters sometimes. I don't think he knows who's running the Democrat Party. I think it's true that a lot of them don't. But my two theories are that during the Biden years, Hillary was calling the shots a lot, they say. There's that thought that kind of tangent is still running the Democrat Party. But I would say in general, it's who's ever as far left as it can be, because they run out of steam. When racism doesn't work anymore, they go to gender ideology. So they have to go to the biggest extreme, and who's ever heading the biggest stream wins. It's like just when you think they're not liberal enough, they go more so. So who's ever at the extreme is in charge. That would be the AOC crowd who brought on Zoran Magdami. That would be gender ideology is the perfect thing. Democrats don't agree with this, but they have to go with the flow on this one. And feminists aren't speaking out anymore. Feminists from the 70s kind of gave up their charter. They just threw their hands up in the air with 57, 56 and the gender ideology policies, and they're on board. It's like, where are they? So the feminists aren't in charge either, or at least the old kinds of feminists. So I would say as far left as you can get, and I would say a lot of them are out of touch suburban women.
Well, that is for sure. I would say that. I mean, I think you had 81% of women voted for Mikey Sherrill, and I believe for Virginia governor-elect as well. But Seth, going to you. So to her point, like, how do you think the Democrat Party is? Do you think they're? We'll get to the next segment. How they're too far gone, but do you think they're held hostage by the far left? I mean, look at Madani. And do you think Schumer was really doing the shutdown because he was afraid of AOC and the far left people?
No, this is just who they are. I mean, we need to stop making excuses for them and like, oh, they're doing this because of that or doing this because they're just stupid people. Liberals are stupid people. That's the bottom line. They are mentally ill. They don't view the world like it really is. They see the world as they wish it was, and that's how they react. Oh, the sky is purple. I'm going to pretend like the sky is purple and live my life that way. And you can tell them till you're blue in the face, no, it's not purple, you fucking idiot. It's blue. They'll argue with you. When it comes to the government, they shut it down, but they're going to blame everybody else. You can go, no, look, this is you. I can show you the votes. No, it wasn't us. It's the Republicans. No, it's you. This is just who they are. They're stupid. They are stupid people. And I hate saying that because some of my friends are liberals and I love them to death. And they're not as far gone. I mean, their psychosis is just starting. These people are full-blown mental cases that should be locked up in an asylum somewhere. But this is just who they are. There's nothing new. This is like saying, hey, water's wet, the sun is hot, and when the sun goes down, it gets dark. These are just facts of life. Libs are insane.
I tend to agree. So Joe, I'll go to you next. Who do you think is running the Democratic Party?
It's clear. Well, there's one theory. They're just scrambling.
Joe, you're
they're trying to find somebody. I think maybe Mondani, depending on how he does. He could very well dangerously be the future of the Democratic Party. Be a future leader. I just really no set image. That's one of the things they struggle most. They don't have a leader. They have no leadership. They have no one you could point to and say, hey, like one of the top Democrats. You know what I mean? That's our right there. They are having a full-blown crisis. They don't know what they stand on. They don't know who to stand with. Full panicking mode on the Democrats. And just like Seth's point, a lot of these people, they are indeed challenged. And I think that is
Yeah, Joe, you're breaking
shells.
up really bad, buddy.
Don't know how. And
Yeah,
that's
you might have to drop off, man. You're breaking up really bad. And you're
but
freezing. I don't know if you can hear me, Joe. You're breaking up really bad and you're
okay.
freezing.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see what I could do. Hold on. But yeah, there's
You
no
just drop
leadership,
off
and
for
these.
a minute
Okay.
till you
All right.
get it
Let me get out of here.
So, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Apologize. But Elena, to you, who do you think is running the Democrat Party? And on top of that, afterwards, we just got news they just passed the Clean CR. I just heard. I believe somebody just put that in there. We got a text, so you can go into that afterwards.
All right. As far as the CR goes, they were going to do that at some point. Yay, it's done. Finally, I'm bored of this shutdown story. I'm bored of watching Democrats use Americans as pawns and then watching their goblin followers blame Trump. If Trump got involved, they would say he was being a king and he has no place being involved in Congress. And then he didn't get involved, and they said, he was being negligent. There's no winning with these people. They're going to say the same goblin talking points no matter what happens. I'm just glad it's over. As far as who runs the Democrat Party, I'm going to also go with goblins. So it's either there's two questions. There's, who's really running it from behind the scenes? Is that the Clintons and Soros and the Obamas and anybody with money? That's who's really running it, the World Economic Forum. Or, and the other side of that question is, who's the face of the party? Because none of them are actually leaders. None of them are strategists or great thinkers. They are simply, at this point, actors. Right? I mean, there's probably a few thinkers in the mix, and they get squashed immediately because they don't really want them to do any thinking or speaking of their own. You are not allowed independent thought in the Democrat Party. So who's the face of the party? Well, it's looking like AOC and Gavin Newsom right now. Jasmine Crockett is one of the faces of the party. So as Joe, I did catch some of what he said, is they're in a full-blown identity crisis because they know that none of these people will have widespread popularity. Sadly, though, they do have some popularity. And it really scares me that there's AOC 2028. I'm seeing that in some bios on Twitter, on lefty bios. That is terrifying. Is worse than Kamala, as president, potentially. Because, the Bidens, we all know, brought literal children, people right out of college because they wanted to get the young people involved in government into the White House. And they had interns discussing foreign policy. They had interns working on economic policy. And look what happened. Look what we got out of it. AOC would be even worse. It would be a nightmare.
I agree with that as well. I can't say anything about that. And Constance, I'll go back to you because I know you got to jump off at 8:30. You said so. Why do you think that almost half of the Americans vote for this? I know indoctrination in schools and all that stuff.
Voting for what?
Voting for people like AOC and Mondani and these loony Democrats that are taking over the Democrat Party.
First of all, many Americans are still fooled by mainstream media. Mainstream media's job is to create a public image in the way they choose to. That's what they do. Many people are still tuning in to your leading networks who are featuring these people. So mainstream media is still leading the image here. I agree with Elena that AOC is probably the face. I love how Tucker Carlson used to call her Sandy Cortez, because that was her. She was in high school in her nice little neighborhood. Very well to do, apparently. So I think that the Sandy Cortezes are, because they're vocal and because the media is playing them up, this is why people are falling for it. And the people in assisted living, for crying out loud. I can't believe why they are so easy to fool, but they are glued to these kind of channels as well. And I don't understand it. But when you see the number of them that rolled out of their assisted living to march in the No Kings, it's quite startling how many of them are on board to contest. I don't think they know what they're contesting. because if they're contesting temporary status, it's those who are getting benefits and are taking away from Social Security in the future. So I really don't even know if they know even what they're protesting. So the media still holds it strong, and it's not the media in this room.
If I can add to that, I can't help myself. The media on one hand, on the other hand, our education system, they are indoctrinating children. We are seeing at voting age right now, we've seen the first large group of young people nationwide. This is no longer a blue city thing or coastal problem. It is now deep in the nation where from kindergarten up, they are taught anti-American ideals and they are indoctrinated to think towards communism. It is not a joke. It is not, again, not a blue city thing. This is in all 50 states. And we are in real trouble now because we have 20 years worth of kids right now learning this stuff. So how many generations is it going to take? Even if we stop the bleeding right now, we're in trouble. This is not, we had a reprieve with Trump winning, but it's just to stop the bleeding for the moment.
Yeah. I heard the statistic that women 18 to 39 years old, 89% voted for Mikey Sherrill as governor. And that is significant because that group in college students, it also encompasses young women in the workforce, women who are starting to have children too. That's a big number, 89%. And I think there's something they see empowering with these 40-year-old type women like Mikey Sherrill and AOC, representing the future. They like the look of it on the outside with no depth behind the eyes. And the education system is bringing them on board to be completely fooled. You're 100% on board with the education failure here.
Yeah.
I agree. So, all right. Well, Constance, it's 8:30. I don't know if you're going to want to say goodbye to anybody or to thank any people that voted for you here in New Jersey. And I know Alexandra is supposed to be on at 9 o'clock. Hopefully she makes it on from Alexandra.
Thank you. And I'm going to keep being involved in educating people what's going on in our state house, because many people, probably where you are too, Elena, anywhere, people don't know as much about their own state house, the decisions there. And it's our job to kind of get this out so that they'll be more tuned in, not blame federal for anything that's going on that federal had no role in.
Yeah.
So I'll keep doing that.
All right. Thank you, Constance. I appreciate it. And Seth, before we go to a break, I just want to ask you, with the assisted living that she brought up, all the people that you know there, do you think, are they trying to get you guys to vote Democrat?
All the time.
I had to throw it out there.
All the time.
I know there's one coming for me soon. So, but all right. So we'll take a break and we'll go to our next segment.
The APN's The Pulse podcast is hosted by Alexandra Levine from the Alexandra Levine Life podcast. And Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore podcast. And Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner podcast. Also, there will be 2 additional guests on every episode. The Pulse is live every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to segment 3 of The Pulse. This episode is the Democrat Party is beyond saving. That's what I'm curious about. And I'm going to play this first clip because what we talked about earlier, and Elena talked about earlier, the indoctrination. You see these young kids and what they're doing. You're going to see a clip of it was when Antifa showed up at a Turning Point USA event at Berkeley College. And you'll see the lines. They're calling everyone fascist. Of course, they don't even know what the term means anyway. But they're just showing up, disrupting everything. It was the last stop on their tour, Turning Point USA at Berkeley College. So let's roll this first clip.
This is Savannah Hernandez at UC Berkeley at the TPUSA Out of the Bay protest. Now, it is about 7 p.m. at this point, but this has been going on since 4:30. And my friends, it has been absolute chaos. Now, at the beginning of the night, you quickly had 2 people that were arrested. One person was a Trump supporter, another was an Antifa member. And as the Trump supporter was getting arrested, he stated that the Antifa member came and tried to steal his stuff, resulting in the altercation. Now, that happened fairly quickly at the beginning of the protest, and everything just evolved since then. Now, this is actually the entrance to the TPUSA event tonight, and the attendee line actually stretched out this way, and it kind of stretched into this area so people could get into this conference center behind me. Now, what ended up happening is this huge swarm of protesters, many of which are trans members, some of them are furries, and of course, many Antifa members and Antifa-aligned groups, they all ended up swarming those attendees. Now, one of the Antifa members actually lit off a flare, smoke started going everywhere, and then another protester drove past in his vehicle. It started backfiring multiple times. It kind of sounded like gunshots. I could see the visible fear in many of the attendees' eyes, and they all started swarming into this area. Now, police quickly let them pass these barriers to, essentially protect them and help with their safety, because the mob then quickly started descending on these barriers. Now, they have multiple times tried to break this area down and break these barriers down, and they have been chanting all night, calling attendees of this event fascist, Nazis, anti-Semites. They've been calling them every single name in the book, while simultaneously saying that Nazis need to be killed. Now, they have also been mocking the death of Charlie Kirk, and I have seen several signs tonight glorifying and celebrating Charlie's death. So that is the protest in attendance tonight. Those are the people inside. You even had people chanting, F your homie is dead, referring to Charlie Kirk. So that's an idea of how chaotic it has been out here at UC Davis. The next challenge is going to be how attendees now leave this event, as this entrance is completely blocked with very aggressive protesters.
All right, now, Joe, I see you're back here. So you're in college, right? So what do you think of that? Because I'm about to go off on it. Number one, I mean, what happened to Charlie Kirk? I'm actually wearing the shirt. The year is born, the year died. And Turning Point USA is a great group. What they're trying to accomplish. And then the man was assassinated. And then now you have all these young people showing up at colleges to try to stop this. I seen part of the video that wasn't shown there. They just kept doing this to the side of their neck, and they were just taunting all the Turning Point USA people. So what's on the minds of the college students? And people your age, young Republicans. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
If he wants to talk, I'll fill in the words for him.
Yeah, just can you lip read?
Keep talking, man. I got you.
Yeah.
I like hot dogs.
Yeah, Joe, we can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. So, Seth, I'm going to go to you then. But we'll see if we can get him back. But, Seth, I'm at the point where when I see that going on, it's like, when are we going to shut this shit down? Because you see the cops, they have to stand there and just allow them to do it. And then the fights break out here and there, and they arrest them. But it's like, when are rational, sane people just going to show up? Just like the movie, what was it, Gangs in New York. You know what I mean? And just clash and just end it. And just end it. Say, get the fuck out of here. Sorry for cursing, but just end it. I know. I'm trying not to curse on the polls. I try not to.
Yeah, I try to too.
You do not.
I know I don't. Well, let's be honest. Sane people don't go to those events. Sane people stay the fuck away from them for that very reason. Because other insane people show up there and want to fight with other insane people, and then people get hurt. I've always said protesting is the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's your right. Go ahead and do it. I approve it. I mean, I respect it. Do it. But you're going to change nothing. Nothing is going to change. You can go to all these TPUSA things, scream and yell at Antifa so they can scream and yell back at you. There'll be fights. They'll be doing what they're going to do. At the end of the day, you haven't changed anybody's mind. They haven't changed anybody's mind. You're probably getting locked up, or you're getting your ass kicked, or you're kicking somebody's ass and going to jail. Nothing changes. These are done for smoke and mirrors. This is what happens to keep us pacified, keep us looking over here so they could do something over there that we're not paying attention to. I mean, really, the chick on that clip was the most annoying chick I've heard for. She was like fingernails on a chalkboard. She was annoying. Oh, there were people here. I could see the fear in there. Shut up. Nobody was afraid because a car drove by with backfire. Shut up. She's feeding into the bullshit. And when she feeds into it, people watching it like, oh my God, that must have been so frightening. You can't trust these people. And that spreads it. Antifa are schmucks. If you go to these events and Antifa shows up, don't be surprised if they act like idiots. Don't be shocked. Don't be like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. What do you mean you can't believe it? Do you not like watch the TV? Do you live in a tree stump in the middle of the woods? Every time they go somewhere, something happens. Why are you shocked? And then why do you continue to show up to these things knowing there's going to be problems? You're right. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you shouldn't. What I'm saying is don't be surprised. Don't play the victim when you go to these things and this happens. It's almost comical at this point. The whole fucking thing is comical. Everybody, oh, this, that, they're crazy. They're crazy. You know, and like the girl. Oh, and then Charlie was hurt. You didn't know the man. Why are you dressing him like he was your buddy? To everybody who doesn't know him, it should be Mr. Kirk, not Charlie.
She might have known him. That was that Savannah Hernandez?
I believe so.
Yeah, she might have known him.
Well, I have a firm opinion on that kind of crap, but the man's dead. Stop bringing his name up every time you're talking, trying to get likes and views and go viral. Stop. The man has a family. He has a wife. He has a kid. They haven't had a second's rest since this happened. They haven't had nothing but hearing crap from Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson with all their little nifty secrets they're going to release. People making fun of the man. Leave it. Let him be. Let him be. Let his family be. That's what pisses me off more than anything else that's going on now is people bring him up and they're not bringing up. I mean, there's probably 10% that like, yeah, I know the guy. He was really good. The other 90% is, hey, I want people to watch my podcast or my thing. I want likes. I want to go viral. Leave the man alone. I mean, really, get a life. And if that's all you can do is bring up his name to try to bolster you, you're in the wrong line of work. Get a new hobby. Find something else to do with your time because you suck at this.
I got to push back a little bit. I mean, she was talking about the.
I mean, just her. I mean, in general.
Yeah, I mean in this case, she was talking about the signs that were being held up and the continued celebration of his murder. And I think it is good to point out that the left is as unhinged as they are, and that
we already know that, though. That's the whole point. This is not news. This is not like, oh my gosh, clutch my pearls. We know this. If it wasn't Charlie Kirk, it'd be something else they'd be talking about, making fun of. If it wasn't, I mean, it's never ending.
Well, the point is, it makes the news, and all these crazies show up there, and these are people that are just trying to continue on. Like I think what Charlie Kirk did was a great thing with TPUSA, starting that and that movement. I think he was a smart guy, and I liked most of the stuff that he said, and then he got killed for it. And then you have all these lefty loonies, Antifa showing up, and they're mocking his death all the time. And that's honestly, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I didn't know him at all. I watched his videos. I watched all of them. I watched it every time he went to a college campus and he debated with college kids. And I thought that was admirable, letting everyone come up and talk, and then he would go back and forth with them. And I agreed with, like I said, mostly of what he said. And then he gets killed for it. And then you have all these crazies out there just mocking him over and over again. And they won't let Turning Point USA, which has grown. And I believe there a lot of good people joined it for that reason. There were a lot of people that were part of it to begin with. But then he gets killed over it, and more people joined it because they're like, whoa, wait a minute. We can't just come out here and speak and have a conversation and then without getting killed. And then these people show up, and when they try to continue it, and that's my biggest problem is when you try to have a conversation with the nuts on the left, you get shut down, you get hurt, you get shot at, whatever it may be. So that I have a huge problem with that.
That's my point. Then why to try to engage with these people in conversation? Why? You just said it's going to happen, so why would you try to engage in conversation? What are you hoping to accomplish to talking with somebody who's going to hurt you?
Well,
What are you
because they're
hoping
looking
to
to
do?
shut it down. They're looking to close it, shut it down so it doesn't happen.
They won't. That'll never happen. They'll never shut it down. The police won't let that happen. The place you go to won't. They'll never shut it down. So that don't. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. They will never shut something down once it starts. So like this thing that was going on, they couldn't shut it down if they tried. It's not going to happen. So with that aside, knowing that they can't shut it down once it begins, why engage with these people? Why even acknowledge what they're saying? Just do what you were doing when you got there, enjoy the presentation or whatever they were doing, and then leave when it's over. Why even give these people a second of thought? They're attention whores. That's why they do it. If we keep noticing them, they'll keep doing it.
Well, and I'll tell you why, and maybe Elena can attest this too. There are colleges that have closed everything down because they don't have enough security to, when Turning Point USA or whoever it may be, that say, I don't care if it's Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, or Turning Point USA, or Jordan Peterson, maybe, whoever it may be. That there's a lot of times they went to a college event and they were supposed to speak there, whatever, and people showed up and the colleges shut it down because they didn't have the security to handle it. That's happened many times. So that's my problem. And luckily the police showed up. This one, they handled it to the best of their ability, but that's my problem with it.
Yeah, I'd like to add that UC Berkeley is, it is ground zero for this liberal think. I mean, we can go back to when you and I, when we were all in diapers and this kind of nonsense was going on there, less violence, but they were going to change the world in the 60s. It's all this hippie stuff. When I lived out in San Francisco in the early 2000s, I worked for a company that we used to do shows on the UC Berkeley campus at the Greek Theater and, here at Zellerbach Hall. So I spent a lot of time on that campus. And it was just, these people would protest even back then. They would protest anything that somebody had an idea that said we should have a protest. They were having a protest. They were standing on street corners. Sometimes they were blocking the street, but they were always, it was like it's a literal hobby. Like, join a bowling league, do something else. But again, it becomes their God and it's all they do. So now it's just gone from, activism and liberalism to, communism and violence. It's really unfortunate because I do think in the very beginning of those protest days in the 60s, they wanted peace. They wanted civil rights. They wanted things that we all agree on, really. At the end of the day, they
smoked a lot of weed. They were calmer, back then.
Well, now they're all on SSRIs and vape pens. And so, maybe they should go back to cigarettes and pot and an occasional line of Coke and, maybe they'll be normal again. I don't know.
And one more thing, and this is probably going to piss off a lot of people. And you know what? That's my hobby. If you are a conservative, you have to respect and defend Antifa's right to speak, no matter what they're saying, no matter who they're mocking. As long as they're just saying it, you have to defend that right. You have to stand up next to them and go, yes, they can say this, and I will defend their right to make fun of Charlie Kirk or make fun of whoever they want to make fun of, because that is our First Amendment. And the First Amendment right is there not only to protect speech you agree with, it's there to protect the speech you don't agree with. So you have to give them their props. You got to respect them for exercising their rights. As long as it stays verbal. The second they start touching people or doing stuff like damaging property, completely different story. I'm not supporting that at all. Not at all. And I'm not condoning what they say. All I'm saying is that's their right. Yeah, we have to take that into account. We can't condemn them for what they say. That is their right to say what they want to say. As disgusting as abhorrent as it is, they're allowed to. Our Constitution is there to protect them just as much as it protects us. That's why I'm saying don't engage with them.
But they're going beyond exercising their constitutional rights.
Once they start touching people, that's what I'm saying. And it's different. They start damaging property. It's completely different.
Yeah.
If they're just standing behind a fence screaming and yelling obscenities, okay, I would applaud them, which would piss them off even more. Like, hey, good for you. You're doing your First Amendment right.
Yeah.
But once they start touching you or breaking things or doing stuff like that, then it becomes a riot, and that's not protected. Then you get your head caved in.
But
if it's just
Berkeley
verbal,
police The Berkeley police are at their mercy.
Yes.
Because that whole town is behind those kids.
And you got to remember, police officers have to follow their higher ups. Their higher ups got to follow the politicians. So if they're in a city where the politicians say, "Look, don't do anything," they can't.
Yep.
Well, God forbid they do something that's caught on camera that's taken
well,
out.
There's that. I mean,
yeah, and then,
when my father was a cop, he said there weren't camera phones. He said, and when the sun went down, like at a riot like that, as soon as the sun set and the TV cameras couldn't see you, the streets got cleared real quick.
Oh yeah.
But I personally, I don't have a problem with using force to clear a riot.
I don't either. But I have a problem with using force if it's just verbal. If they're running their mouth,
we're talking rioting.
Rioting, yeah, gas them.
But that one, you see them were lighting fires and
do it. That's not protected speech.
Fights broke out, and then somebody.
That's not protected.
I knew the car was backfiring, but there was another video. Somebody that was videoed, and I know you can hear it on that, but it actually sounded like gunshots. They did it on purpose.
That was the backfire of the car.
Yeah, they did it on purpose to agitate and make it sound like gunfire.
But that is protect. They can do that. They can, as long as they're not touching you, they're not damaging property. They can sit in the middle of the street and fart at you. There's nothing you can do. It's when they start touching you, damaging property, or burning things. Then yes, like Elena said, at that point, let loose the dogs of war.
Yeah, and say, hey, this protest got to be broken up because you got a couple bad actors in
But
here.
that goes back to what I said earlier. If you know that's what they're going to do, why engage with them? Let them scream and yell at themselves.
Well, from what I saw, I didn't see anyone. I've been to many different events here in New Jersey, and tons of people showed up at the protesters against like Jack Chiarelli events, and they were screaming like crazy. And that's all they did. That's fine. So I stood across the street and had my sign, and I didn't say a word, and I just stood there and said, "Okay, keep screaming. You're going to lose your voice." That didn't matter to me. I just smiled at them. That was it. And
that probably pissed them off more than anything else you could have done.
Probably, yeah. But they weren't getting violent at all. They weren't lighting things on fire. They weren't throwing anything. But I don't know. I just see an event like that, and it's like that should be cleared out. Once they start lighting stuff on fire, the cops said, "All right, done. Everyone's out of here. Go."
Trying to remove the barricades. Get out. No, that's it. Now you're touching property that's not yours. Let's go. Get out of here. But they're not going to do that in Berkeley. Forget it. They're on
behind you as long as until it crosses that speech, until it becomes more than me screaming at you. Once I cross that line, it should be quashed immediately. Shouldn't be allowed to go on for 2 or 3 minutes to see what's going to happen. The second it goes past peaceful, it should be done. You should be done immediately, no matter who you are.
Once. Right back.
We're living in crazy times, and where this stuff is being allowed, bad behavior is celebrated, crime is celebrated, criminals are, revered. So here we are, and this is only going to get worse. This is not gonna get better. Oh wow! If only you were there.
He got his sword, so I had to bring my hammer. So. You missed this, Elaine, I think, on Tuesday, election day. We broke out the props. Sorry, I saw him hold the sword in the hand. I'm like, I'm bringing the hammer.
But no, you're right. Criminals are deified. People celebrate bad behavior all the time. Police officers have the worst job in the world because they got to tell people no, and they're the bad guys now. Like, no, you can't do that. Oh, screw the police. Kill them all. Everything is reversed here. It's like Bizarro world. What's bad is good and what's good is bad. And I agree. And until the adults that are in charge grow a set, and like I'm tired of hearing, we're going to arrest this person. We're going to charge this person in Congress. Until you do it, stop talking about it. And until you do it, this stuff will continue to happen. And they need to drop the hammer. Like, look, if you're freedom of speech, great. Exercise it. The second is no longer speech, we're going to hurt you. The cops are going to wade in with sticks and dogs and mace and rubber bullets or real bullets if needed, and we're going to end this immediately. Be forewarned. There'll be no warning. We're not going to go, hey, you're getting close. We're going to come kick your ass in a second. It's just going to happen to you because you'll know the second you've stopped speech. Oh, this is no longer First Amendment. You know it when you're breaking the law. We just need to either not engage with them. Like if they yell at you, don't yell back. Do what you did. That's great. Keep yelling. That's cool. Which pisses them off more.
Yeah. What
Or they
bothers
just
me,
need to be ended.
yeah, what bothers me is that the old hippies, I mean, maybe they are speaking up. I don't hear the old hippies in Berkeley coming out and saying, "Hey, Turning Point has a has a right to
They
speak."
don't. They won't
And
ever do
just
that.
because they truly do not care
Yep.
about the right having free speech and First Amendment rights. They don't
Yeah.
actually believe in First Amendment rights, and
And that's
that's
why
what
it's so
is
important for us
very,
to
very
do that.
disappointing.
And that's why it's important we maintain that, because if we leave it to them, there'll be no more. It'll be freedom of speech for people we like, or because we agree with you, not for everybody. So
It's
that's
like
why we need to maintain that and defend it. Because if we don't do it, nobody else will.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on the right is not doing that. I
No,
think
I'm
we're
not
all,
saying they're not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we have to be very careful. There's some people I hear scream, well, they can't say that about Charlie Kirk. Yes, they can. They can show pictures of it. They can dress up like it. They can do that. And you need to defend their right to do that, because the second we stop doing it, they're going to make sure we can't, because they don't believe in the First Amendment. We do. We have to defend it, whether we agree with the speech or whether we don't. It has to be defended.
No, agreed. Absolutely. A good point. It does. Their hate, like I said before, hate speech is protected by the First Amendment. Even if you say that you hate somebody, I can be an anti-Semite or be a racist and say it, and I can't get arrested for it.
Nope.
You know, and that's fine. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. You know, but you're allowed to say it as long as you don't act on it.
Yeah, as long as you don't act on it, you can say whatever you want to say. Except, I think the only person you can't threaten is the president of the U.S. You can't come out and say, "I'm going to hurt him," because that's
well, if you threaten somebody and say you're going to hurt them, then that is a crime.
Well, I can threaten you, and I think it's legal.
necessarily a crime,
but you can't threaten the president of the U.S. If you threaten him, they will come to your house and go, "Hey."
Well, no, it's called terroristic threats. If you were to threaten a person, and not just the president, a regular, like me to you, then I go online and I start threatening you, say I'm going to kill you, then that is.
And I think that's different because it's written.
Yeah,
you're actually putting it down.
Well, if you said it and it's recorded too, so that's.
I just know for sure that the president you can't threaten. I know that for sure.
No way. Well, that's why.
I mean, with Trump you can, because they don't enforce that. But any other president before him, if you threatened him, the Secret Service would at least pay you a visit and go, "Hey, we read that post. What did you mean by that? We need to know. We need to understand what you meant."
Well, that's why James Comey should get go to do a little bit of time or get something for his 8647.
Yeah, he should. That's not protected speech when you threaten the president. I'm almost 100%. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure somewhere along the line I read something that said you can't threaten the president, no matter.
No, I know you definitely can't. No, for sure. You're not allowed to threaten anybody verbally or you say it, write it, or whatever. I'm 100% sure of that. It's called terroristic threats. I've not that I've done it before. I'm not saying that I know because of that reason at all. But I've seen it happen before with other people. So,
okay. Yeah, like I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, me either. So
I may be Jewish, but I'm not a lawyer.
Or an accountant? What are you doing?
Have you seen my checkbook?
Where does you go wrong?
Jewish?
I don't even have a checkbook. I just threw it away. I'm like, if I can spend money, I got money in my account. They deny it, I'm out of money, so I got to stop.
So, all right, guys. Well, it looks like Alexandra. I think she sent a text in here that she won't be able to make it on at 9:00. So we'll take a break and we'll go on the last segment, and we'll after the segment we'll wrap it up from there.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the last segment of the Pulse. I had to bring the hammer back out. That was a fun night, man. It was. Man, thank you for coming on too. It was great. I wish you could have made it up there. It was a really good night, and I think I said this after our Pulse podcast last week, but I'll say it live. My buddy Billy, moron, some guy he was getting ready to leave, and some guy just pushed him in the back, flipped him over a table, and he got into a fight. Cops came, and I'm like, dude, just go. And he would not do it. He apologized. He was crying to me the next day, and then I had to drive them home and then come Uber back to get my truck. Thanks, buddy. I'm just going to throw it out there. So
he was a good. Both your friends were good guys. Anytime you drink as much as they did, something's going to happen, no matter who you are. Even with me, if I drank that much, I'd have been out in the parking lot too, probably sitting next to him, throwing punches at the guy too. It's just alcohol changes you. That's why I don't drink as much as I used to, because it changes me into a person I don't like. So I don't drink anymore.
Well, it was kind of cool though, with the one cop that was there, because when I went outside, it was cold. I put my sweatshirt on. It was a Trump inauguration sweatshirt. When me and our great producer went down to the inauguration, he came up and said, "Oh, I like your sweatshirt, by the way." I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Well, it was really funny. I was out there, I had my cane. I'm leaning on my cane, and I'm obviously like need the cane to walk. So the officer goes, "Are you the head of security here?" And I just looked at him and said, "Yeah, sure I am." Ignore the cane. It's a prop. I don't use it.
So, all right. Well, this is segment 4. This is the shutdown winners and losers. Now, first, I just want to bring up, I think this was part of the shutdown. I want to bring up the election results for New Jersey and Virginia. It's off-year elections, what they call it. So if we can put them up on the screen real quick, just for a couple seconds. So, yeah, you see that. You can see that Democrats won by a large margin. And it was very upsetting, obviously, of course, because we wanted the red team to win. But they didn't. And I think part of it was because I know New Jersey is a sanctuary state, and we gave out licenses to illegal aliens. So, that's what they do. They register you when you get a license. So it doesn't even ask you any other question. You can lie. It will ask you if you're a citizen or not, and you can say yes or no. So you can just say yes, and then they'll register you to vote for Republican, Democrat, whatever it may be. So I think a lot of illegals voted, and I think that the shutdown, part of it was a lot of people. There was a lot of low propensity voters that came out. There was 600, and this is in New Jersey anyway. There was 600,000 more than ever in a gubernatorial race came out to vote, and they voted for Mikey Sherrill. And I think that the shutdown had something to do with it too, because a lot of people losing their SNAP benefits, they were like, and mainstream media pushing it as a Republican shutdown. They went out and they voted for the first time ever. So there's that too. Also, I would just say this, because I work with Arlene Gajkowski. Well, she's part of it, but she just tells me all the stuff. And Mark Demo and Lynn Lippincott, they're part of election integrity. They don't really hold any jurisdictional authority, but they go out and they have a team that goes out and finds illegal votes. And just in Camden County alone, one out of 21 counties. And I could go on and on about all the other counties, but I'm not going to do that for sake of time. There was 15,000 mail-in ballots that should have been challenged, and they were never challenged because they were either people that died and voted, or people that moved out of the state and voted, and they had proof of it, but they wouldn't challenge it. So they let them go. That's 15,000 votes just in Camden County.
Why didn't they challenge them?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I sent it to a bunch of different people, because you have to live in each. You need someone from each county to go and challenge it. Camden County had to challenge somebody from there to do it, but I don't know why Jack didn't want to do it. We sent him the information on all different counties. I sent it to senators, state senators anyway, and they let it go. I don't know why. It doesn't sound right, but it was proof that they either didn't live here, they moved, and someone voted for them, or they voted from another state, or someone was dead and they voted. So that's why I have my T-shirt. I'll wear it next time. When I die, don't let me vote Democrat. So, but anyway, so this, like I said, shutdown winners and losers is this segment. So let's we played. Let's play the first clip because I want to talk about Sean Duffy and Pete Buttigieg and what the difference is between those two. You know what? I'm sorry. Before I even play those clips, what do you guys think? Because Seth, you're in Maryland, so and you didn't have any elections there this year. So, is there any cheating going on there? Who do you think won this shutdown? Do you think the Republicans won in the end? Because I think,
to be honest, I think the people won. I think people started to realize we don't need the government. Things went on pretty much normally without the federal government at the helm. States government had to step up, do a little bit more than they should have been doing, but that's what they should have been doing the whole time. Federal government should only be there for national defense and to maintain infrastructure. Beyond that, they should have nothing to do with us. They've gotten too bloated, too big, too self-important. And we saw that this during this time, we don't need them. The 10 billion people that were laid off during the government shutdown, find a real job. Stop living off my tit. Go make your own living. We don't need all those people. We don't need the Department of Education. We don't need the IRS. We don't need the Department of woolly people in purple shirts. We don't need all these departments because they serve no purpose other than to keep the bloat and the bureaucrats in charge. And and again, I'll piss people off. I wish the shutdown was still going on. I wish Trump said, nope, we're not ending this. We're going to go a little bit longer. This is ridiculous. People need to see we don't need us. We should be seen and not heard in the federal government. Until we're needed for something, we should be in the White House or in the Congress and just sit there. They don't need us. We don't need them.
Well, you're a veteran. You're a veteran, and then, so what about the people that are serving that wouldn't get paid?
What, so they didn't make their 22 cents an hour? That's what I was making when I was in. So what? Well, I didn't join to get rich. I didn't join I joined because I wanted to help, not to make money. And if I didn't get paid, that doesn't change my job. It didn't change the reason why I was there. I was there for one reason and one reason only. And money had nothing to do with it. Obviously, because you don't join the military to get rich. Hell, you join it barely to get fed.
It's not about getting rich. It's about food on the table. Some of these people have families, and they don't all have 6 months of savings in the bank like I don't.
Like
they should.
I got 6 days of savings.
I don't need that.
But yeah, I mean, we don't need the federal government. We don't need them, or we don't need them to be as big as they are. They need to be downsized massively.
I could not.
As big as they are, I agree.
I mean, if we immediately just cut all the government programs out and just got to keep our tax money, we could all afford the things that the government is supposedly giving us, except it's all government cheese. It's all nonsense, cheap crap that the government gives us that doesn't work, like all their healthcare subsidies. Look what Obamacare has done to our healthcare. It is so expensive to go to the doctor, and the quality is in the gutter everywhere. It's really a shame. That's just one example. Everything the government touches turns to crap. But so I would rather keep my tax dollars and, chip in for the military and the interstates, a few little things here and there. That's enough.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, because I don't want any nasty emails. I'm all for the military. I was in the Navy. My daughter was in the Navy. I'm not saying, hey, we work for free. What I'm saying is I hope you didn't join to get rich. That's all I mean by that. If you joined the military to get rich, I got some swampland in Arizona I want to sell you real cheap.
No. You run for Congress to get rich.
That's what I mean. You go into politics to get rich. You join the military to do the right thing.
That's not why I'm running. It's not why I'm running, by the way.
God, my head is big.
No, but it's just a perk. It's just insider trading as a perk. Yeah. In a few years, we'll see.
No. What I meant by paying the military. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to jump.
No.
But no. What I meant by paying the military is a lot of people, let's say they get out of high school, they need a job, and they go, or the Patriots, whatever it may be, whatever reason is, they join the military, and they might leave a wife and kid at home. That doesn't work. So they go and join the military. If they're not getting paid, they can't send money home. So I don't think any rich kids join the military. So that's, maybe go to West Point or something like that, become officers, but not.
It almost doesn't matter. It almost doesn't matter. The government should pay our soldiers no matter what. They shouldn't
Yeah.
be caught up in political nonsense
No, they
no
shouldn't
matter
be.
what. That's really the conversation we should be having. Like, why is Congress getting paid? And that soldier who's got 3 kids and he's an enlisted guy who's not making a lot of money, why is he on the hook? And that's really another conversation that we have to have about how screwed up Congress has become. Our founding fathers never envisioned that we would be this mired
Nope.
in bloat and corruption and legalese. I mean, the thousands and thousands and thousands of laws that we have to abide by and navigate as citizens. It is an absolute disgrace. We do not live in a free country. I think we used to, and then for a while we lived in what we thought was a free country, but now the blinders are off and the illusion is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you're right about that. So, all right. So, all right, we talked about that. So now I'll go into these 2 clips because this is part of the shutdown. This is Sean Duffy. We'll go on this one first. I don't know if it's a right clip, but I just want to show who he is and comparing to Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah. And there's been some new developments over the course of the last days and weeks. But before I start, I do want to thank Secretary Noem and ICE and the state of Indiana for the great work they've done. They had a press conference this morning identifying 223 illegals that were arrested in a sting operation in Indiana. 146 of those individuals were truck drivers. And Secretary Noem actually pointed out that a number of those truck drivers that were illegal have criminal records. Individuals that have no place on American roads. Through Indiana's great work, we discovered that they were, and those people are taken off the road now, and many of them are headed back to their countries of origin. I know other states are partnering with us, states like Oklahoma, also setting up operations in their states to actually enforce the laws on the books in their states, but also the laws that come from the federal government and those of us here at DOT. So I want to walk through just some of the history of what's happened.
So, all right. So, just want to compare him to Pete Buttigieg. Now, the clip I was originally wanted to cut was him talking about air traffic controllers and not getting paid, and he said what Trump was saying. But that was a good clip to play as well. And the reason why that clip was played, Alexandra, thank you for putting it in there, or Landon, maybe you put it in there, I'm not sure. But Gavin Newsom gave illegal immigrants, 17,000 illegal immigrants, a CDL. And you're seeing all these accidents by illegals, so I figured I'd touch on that. But the clip I wanted to play was him talking about Trump giving air traffic controllers that stayed and worked without pay a bonus, because they worked without pay. So, and then I want to compare him to our old Pete Buttigieg, Pothole Pete. So let's just play this clip.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or that would have been in New York, was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices.
It's not even true. It's not even true. Oh my God.
I know. So you have this guy who's a DEI hired, Department of Transportation, and then you have Sean Duffy, and that's why I want to play. That clip was a good one from him too, from Sean Duffy. But the other one was it was just shows that the black and white difference. Not, and I don't mean black and white like that. I just mean that the whole difference between the two. How one was inept and one actually can speak and do his job. He doesn't call roads racist or highways racist. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. So So, Elena, what do you think?
Yeah, one of
about
them is
that?
trying to make our roads safer by taking illegal aliens off of the roads who are driving and murdering people with semis. This has been going on for years. And only lately is the news reporting on it at all, which is amazing that they're even reporting on it. But half the time when I tell people about some of these incidents, like the one in Ontario, California, that happened a couple weeks ago, where that semi just went full speed and just drove over a little car and then drove into another car, just ran over cars at full speed and crushed them like soda cans with people inside. You know, people.
Why does that just come out now, by the way? I just heard about that. It was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you heard about it a few weeks ago, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah. I heard about it probably 2 weeks ago or so. And you know, that was just another one of them, you know, another one in Indiana in October. You know, a 54-year-old man was murdered by an illegal alien who just decided to just make a left turn into oncoming traffic, you know, and kill this father. We could do this all day. It's happening constantly. So Sean Duffy is trying to make Americans safer as they move around the country, where Pete Buttigieg was making up crap about highways being built to divide neighborhoods. And underpasses being deliberately built too low so that buses couldn't get through. Are you kidding me, Pete? First of all, that he was talking about the 5 boroughs. I grew up in Brooklyn. I took the buses all over the place before I could drive. I know exactly what overpasses he's talking about, and the buses could fit through them. And I could get into the black neighborhood, and the black kids could get out. It was it wasn't hard. There were for him to look at life through that lens and have that much influence in this country. Remember one more thing, when he was just making it illegal to have fun road signs. So, you know, those flashing, those black signs that they plug in messages like, don't drink and drive, boo, on Halloween. That was a bad example, but they'll put like cutesy things. Well, those things cheer people up. And when you're in a good mood, you're less likely to have road rage. But he said they were distracting. It's like, this is what you're spending your time on, when, at the time, during the whole Biden administration, the air travel was hideous. Trains were flying off the tracks. And you're worried about some poor secretary who runs the sign, has one little joy in her job to make a creative sign, and you're going to suck that joy out of it and suck the joy out of the commute, this little bit that we have. Oh God, who gave him power? And he was trying to be president too.
Yeah.
Please. Thank God he's gone.
I knew you were going to dive deep on this one. So that was great. That was a great answer. It's just a contrast of the previous administration, this administration. What a joke it was, Seth. I mean, look at what was the one guy that was stealing women's clothes? He was the Secretary of Nuclear Waste or something, whatever the hell his job was, something like that. But the bald guy, then he was stealing luggage from airports.
I forgot about him. Thanks for bringing him up.
Yeah, him, and then we had Admiral Levine, transgender. It's like.
We had Senator Cardin's staffer having sex in the Senate hearing room. That was
great.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
we had such the tables down after that.
Oh yeah, I would have got rid of it. I would have burned it. Coke in the White House.
What's under my desk? Why is it so sticky?
Yeah. Oh God, I would never want to be in that situation.
You're welcome.
Sitting at your desk, and then the video comes out afterwards.
What happened to your hand? I cut it off.
I was wondering what that smell was.
It's musky in here. Yeah.
What's that funk?
It's crazy. You got transgender.
Smells like hot dog water.
With boobs flashing on the White House lawn. I mean, how crazy was it with the prior administration?
I mean, the Secretary of Defense going in for surgery, and his deputy was in Puerto Rico on a beach. Nobody's running the War Department, and nobody thought to tell anybody. Remember? Oh, the memories. We could be here for years. Just.
The Easter Bunny
Reminiscing.
was Biden's handler.
I wonder
Yes.
what
Yes, that was
Buttigieg,
a good one.
was it Buttigieg, whatever his name is. Don't correct me. 'Cause I don't
Buttigieg.
respect him.
Yeah.
I wonder when he says stupid stuff like that, does anybody in the crowd go, "The fuck did he just say?"
No,
Did
like,
anybody else hear that? He's calling streets rape. Somebody needs to get him off stage. I think he's drunk. I think he's been drinking. Get him back because he's making an ass of himself. Racist streets. What the hell?
I know, but those are the good old days when they called us racists. Like now they call us fascists so that they can kill us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Constance said it earlier that they move on from one to another. The racist thing isn't working anymore. And then now it's a fascist thing. They're going to find something else.
What's going to be next? I mean,
it's like just shut up and be an American, okay?
Next, I'll tell you. Next, infidels.
Infidels. Infidel? You think?
Infidels? Oh, really? It's a good one.
Or there might be a little further in the future. There might be something between fascists and infidels, but they're coming for us. We're going to get to being called infidels in our
I
country.
agree with that's the thing I'm most concerned about is that. That's what keeps me up at night. Is that crap because nobody says anything. No one's saying anything. That's what scares me. That's what gonna. If there's ever a downfall of this country, it's going to be because of Islam. I'm telling you, it'll be because of Islam.
I believe so. Yes. Radical Islamists. And
I'm not even going to say radical. I'm saying Islam. Period will be the reason this country comes down because wherever they go, death and destruction follow. Wherever they go. There's no peace, there's no calm, there's no unity, there is division, and there is death. That is all they bring with wherever they go.
And I do agree with that. I mean, you look what's happening in the UK.
Look at Dearborn, Michigan.
I was going to say Michigan too with their what is the bullhorns out there? Not bullhorns, the speakers out there. I would lose my goddamn mind if I heard that every day. I would lose my mind if I heard anybody's.
And I don't know who said it. It was one of the talking heads, and I agreed with her. I can't remember her name, and I apologize because she's pretty famous, I guess. But she said if there is a such thing as a moderate Muslim, why are they not speaking out? Why are they not coming to the forefront and condemning what happens in Islam? Why are they not screaming and yelling and saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is not what Islam is about, this needs to stop? If there is moderate, where are they? And where have they been? That's why I say Islam, period. I'm not breaking it down anymore. Until I see people who say I'm moderate fighting what's going on, I'm grouping them all together. Call me a homophobe or not Islamophobe. Call me what you want to call me. Until I see proof there are people who are against it, that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, because you're right. I haven't heard any of that, and I actually put out a video on Instagram today commentating on a compilation of Muslims, imams, and leaders speaking about their strategy. Yeah. And they say, used to be the bullet, but now it's the ballot. So we are going to find our way into American politics. We're gonna win power for Islam, and we are going to make America a Muslim nation. And they're doing it. We're sitting back and watching it happen. Like you said, Dearborn, Michigan, Texas.
Yes.
Texas has like the third highest number of mosques in the nation. New York just voted in a Muslim who was pretending to like gays and women.
Yeah. I like the gay people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and so they're all playing nice right now. Everything you said about everywhere they go, there's violence. I mean, look at Boko Haram, look at what's happening in murdering, slaughtering Christians, slaughtering Jews. But they're not going to do that just yet here because they still don't have a majority. Not yet, but there will come a day in this country if we don't stop it where we become the infidels. And we either fight for our lives or we will live under their thumb. And
like I said before, if you look at Japan, they don't allow Muslims into their country. I don't think China doesn't allow anybody in their country, but they specifically don't let Muslims into their country. Poland has not let a single Muslim into their country. And look at Poland. They're fine. There's nothing going on in Poland. Nothing going on.
Italy's bugging. She's bugging. Look at Italy. She's like,
Yeah,
that's
she's
it.
done. She's like, we're done. We're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
But we won't, because then we're being Islamophobes. And we don't want that. We don't want to be Americans. We want to be everybody. We want to be like Heinz 57. We want everybody to come here. You don't have to integrate. You just come live here and do what you want to do. It's all fine. And it's not fine. No, history has shown if you don't integrate people coming to your country will fall. Look at Rome. That's why they fail.
Yep.
I agree 100%. It's not a good thing. But I will say, I don't want to discriminate against any religion whatsoever. So I do know some Muslims that are good, some, but it is the trend of Muslims from other countries that just it's that or that's it, and they will not change. They will not become Americanized. No. I mean, there are ones that grew up here that are Americanized, and it's a different story. For me, there are a couple that I know, but the ones that coming over from there, no, they're not going to change. They're not going to change at all. So my idea, because we got like 1 minute left in the show, my idea is anyone that wants to stick up for radical Muslims or whatever, or like I'd say Greta Thunberg, I want to take it, but let her go. Go over there, see what happens. The ones that are over here cheering for them is, oh, we got to do this. Okay, fine. It's just like the Israeli government. Not the government. I guess it's the government, but don't you have to serve 2 years? Yeah. So you can serve 2 years over there. Okay, if you're an American and you want this to happen, okay, go serve 2 years over there and work with them, and they're under their control, and we'll see if you change your tune. So, our producer just put it out there. He asked viewers who wanted to hear about our upcoming episodes. We do have upcoming episodes. For me, anyway, Monday, I'm having Nikki Stouffer back on, who's the founder of the New Jersey Project. It was a great episode. Elena, you should probably have her on. She's really good. The New Jersey Project basically started again when they passed Bill 5756 in New Jersey, what they were teaching in schools. And she was on the forefront of it, and she has a lot of information. So I don't know if you saw Monday's episode of Jersey Shore, but she'll be on Monday again for part 2. She's a great woman. She's a fighter, and you should probably have her on. I think you guys would get along.
I'll check her out.
So, Seth, you too, if you want. I mean, you'll probably yell at her here and there. And like, no,
I want Elena to come on my show. I want her to come on when she's in a bad mood. When you're in a bad mood, I want you on my show because you get feisty.
You got a good shot. You got a good shot.
And by the way, Sammy the Bull, it's coming up soon.
When is that happening?
We got an email from Amena the other day and said that his schedule's freeing up, so it's going to be happening soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That'll be awesome.
So, yeah.
I might even wear a tie for that one, I'm thinking.
You better, Sammy. I don't know if he's watching. He's not watching the show, but if he does watch it in the future, you better get it together. Come on our show.
Yeah, I don't think I threaten him. That's
no.
I'm not a smart man.
I know he's not watching. He's older now. He can. So
if he is watching, Mr. Gravano, that was him. I don't agree with what he said. I think it's wrong, and I will back you up no matter what you say back to him. I'm on your side, sir.
Sure. I told him we're going out to Arizona. I'm going to buy him dinner. But if I don't come back, then you'll know what happened.
No, I won't. So. I'll not know what happened at all. I have no clue what happened. Don't know where you went. Don't know. All
right, episode's over. All right, so thank you guys, everybody that joined. Smiley, thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. So over and out. We'll be back on next Wednesday for the Pulse, and you'll see all the rest. Seth on Sunday, Alexandra tomorrow, Tuesday, me Monday, Friday. So got it.
Word.
Bye.
Bye.
Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.